10, I'd be doing what I'm doing today. I would never have dreamed or thought that this is what I'd be doing, because I've always enjoyed the artistic and appreciation of the artistic, but then I have that detail and that math and organizational stuff from it as well, and I had anticipated my future career being in that direction.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess you can say maybe it was fate, it was planned out between meeting the vendors with your mother when you were in your teen years and having a math and accounting background combining together, and here we go.
That's right.
Okay, so why is it important to you? Why is creating such a conference important to you?
Well, back when I started this in 1998, there really wasn't a place for the consumer or the general public to go and find out about how to knit, how to sew, how to do the various crafts, whether it was quilting or machine sewing, making jewelry, working with paper arts and scrapbooking. It's a time where in the educational systems, the home economics programs at that time here, were cutting out those types of programs and replacing them with computer science. So what we were seeing was that where do you go to find that information? Where do you go to get those experts? The trade show was working well, but it was only fulfilling the need for a retail store owner or shop owner to come in and find out. But how do you take it to the next level and bring it to the public? And that was the sort of an idea at the back of my mind. And in fact, I went back to work at Bank Montreal for 3 years with this at the back of my mind. After my daughter and son were born, back to the banking, and it was sort of nagging and sitting there saying, no one's ever done this, there's a need for it, I think, and made the decision in 1988 to quit the bank and take the risk and start out and plan my first consumer show to promote this industry. Okay,
so you were working at the bank, and you had this fabulous idea in the back of your mind, and so what was the last straw? Like, what exactly pushed you to say, you know what, I'm going to take this positive risk, positive chance, and go for it?
Well, I knew just through the trade show contact that I had, there was an idea that the consumers, the public, and other people wanted to learn how to do this. And I think there was the thrill. I think what for me was the thrill is, how did I ever get into show production? I don't do any crafts. But I had an appreciation for the arts and thinking that, what do I do? How am I going to go to get this off the ground? And still, for 3 years, it was nagging, saying, no one's ever tried this before. I was the first one to try this in Canada. There was only other one show in the U.S. at the time, which was a sewing focus, where we were going much broader on that, and thinking there really isn't anything where people can go to find out. It took me 3 years still to sort of hesitate, but on hindsight, those 3 years probably assisted me in my success, because it furthered my organizational and detail skills, which you needed for this. So I was focusing originally on organization, and so with the appreciation of the crafts, you need the detail for what we're doing. I went into this having absolutely no media or PR background or marketing background, and in fact, one of my first banking jobs was told that marketing was my weakness, and suddenly I was going into an area that demanded marketing, and I didn't have any experience. So I just had a belief that it was needed. I was going to do it. I incorporated in 1988 in April, and I ran my first show 6 months later, which now when I look back, I say, if I knew all the risks and the things that could go wrong, I probably would have not done it. I never tried it, because here I left a secure position with a bank to try something that no one really had tried ever before.
Okay. Right when you finished at the bank, and it was 6 months to prepare?
I did the first one in 6 months.
First one in 6 months.
Which I never would have done if I'd known if I'd known then what I know now, as far as the risk.
So then after the 6 months, well, not after 6 months, sorry, you built up the show.
That's
and
right, Natasha.
You had an empty building, you're saying?
Yeah. All of a sudden I'm working, as I said, in this business, or what I'm doing today is you start with an empty shell and you have to go out and sell the space and get people to come out and have a really time, because you've got your show and it's successful and everybody's really happy, it's worked really well. And then we're starting to tear the show down. And at the end of the show I'm standing there in this large empty building full of garbage, and I'm saying, and it was such a letdown, because you're on a high, because you've just completed something, achieved something, only to find that I've got to start over again. So it was interesting, as I said, in the first few years going through that, even the next year when I did that. We start all over, you have to sell your space, you have to do your marketing, you have to get people to come out. You have this phenomenal show, and at the end of that, again, I'm back to a building of garbage. Nothing left, so you start over. So it's the ups and downs.
Okay.
You do experience a lot of ups and downs until you get finally to a stage that they keep
So I guess psychologically, you've built this, almost like you've built your castle.
Correct.
And then you have to...
Someone took it all away.
You take it all away, and you're standing there. What is the step after, of course, cleaning and all the breakdown? Now everything is done. The weekend is over. What is your next step?
Well, part of it is regrouping again. One is relaxing, sort of getting through that. So, and we do that to this day. We break down. We're closed the week after to just sort of relax, regroup, and then start building your confidence again.
So that you mentioned that your son does the pamphlet, the booklet.
Correct.
So my question is, how do you feel about keeping family within the business?
Well, I think family, to get it off the ground, the family support is critical. Because, you know, I don't have, and I can say that to this day, the type of brochure that I put out, I'm being a small business owner, I can't go to a major ad agency and afford to do the level of production. So my son started with, you know, having web access. I mean, he designed our first website when he was 13 years old. He's sort of self-taught. He enjoyed that. He had the graphic talents and the artistic talents and the computer skills. So I got him doing the website. It's certainly evolved. What it looks like today is nothing like it started. But as he grew and evolved into the graphic arts field, I got him more and more involved in the business with reference to doing our brochures. He does all our designs now, right to the point that he's doing all the photography now. So he's graduated as a graphic artist. He's now working for one of the top firms in the city here, probably in the country, and he still does some work for his mom. Now, if I had to do it through his agency, I still couldn't afford it. The other challenge we ran into with family is that when I went to do that first event, you've got a core group. It was myself. I started off with myself and one assistant. When you're dealing with an event that's got, our first show had 28,000 people, 18,000 people, sorry. We were expecting 10, got 18,000. Well, you know, I need people to take, whether it's taking tickets, to answer questions, to, where am I going to get those? So you tend to pull your family resources to come and help you do that. You know, some might be taking tickets at doors. We have, you know, we launched a few years later seminars, and we needed attendance takers at that. So you go to your family and your friends, and they pool it, and they help you to get off, you know, off the ground. And because those first 3 years with businesses, they're saying it usually takes about 3 years to get them turned around, or to get them to a break-even mark. So you do definitely rely a lot. And the support. I mean, you know, once my children were, I did this, at one point I'm a single mom as well, or I became a single mom. I was 2 years into my business when I had a 3- and a 5-year-old to take care of as well. So you rely on family a lot for the support there.
Okay, so with that, all that being said, with everything, single mom, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 13-year-old son, helping you design the pamphlet, quitting your secure job and everything, what would you say to adults today and children, youth that have a dream of something like this?
I say if you have a dream and you believe in it strong enough and you have that passion, it's going to get you through it, and you can do anything if you believe in it strongly. I mean, no matter what people say, you know, everybody can have the ideas, but if they don't have the passion, the chances of success are unlikely. So that's your key. You know, you believe in it. I mean, I was told, I remember going to book the show. I was told when I booked the show at the facility that it probably wouldn't outgrow the building we were in at that time, which was 35,000 square feet. And at one point the show had 200,000 square feet. It was a show that wasn't supposed to make it from an industry or trade show industry standpoint. So coming back to it, it's the belief. If you've got that idea and you believe in it well enough and you feel that there's a need for that, and maybe it's not in the mainstream line or your educational line or you're looking at. But if you believe in it enough, I believe you can make it happen.
And lastly, why is it important for children to take up the arts and crafts?
There's just so much. It's a way of expressing your creativity, expressing yourself. There's so much satisfaction by doing the arts. To be able to say, hey, I did this. And it's, you know, what one person appreciates in art may be totally different than someone else's appreciation. But it's that personal self-satisfaction that you get from being creative, being crafty. It can be a stress reliever. I mean, a lot of people knit. It's mobile, it's something you can take with you just to get away from the pressures of life. So it can be utilized as something that really is, it's a lifestyle, and it's a hobby or a craft that can fulfill from downstairs levels, also give you a creative element. And I think the best part is being able to say, hey, I did that.
Okay.